Were you a big fan of Michael Jackson?
Yeah, somewhat. Not a big fan, but he was entertaining. He still is, and I do want to see his This Is It movie. And he was very big, and I did like most of his music.
Do you think he was a good dancer?
I think he was an excellent dancer. Yes, I do.
What did you think about the escalation of computers in the last 10 to 15 years?
I think it's come a long way since when I was in high school. The only thing we had was electric typewriters, and now to go from that to all the knowledge that the kids have on computers, it amazes me. Most of you kids can teach me a lot about them, and I know I come to you for a lot of answers to my questions about them, but I am learning, and they have definitely come a long way.
How do you feel about the gay rights movement that's... Wow, you kidding me? What do you think about the gay rights movement that's taken place in the past 10 years or so?
Do you want to shut that up?
No.
Well, I'm not sure how I think about it. I suppose if I was on the other end of it, I'd think it was a good thing and think it would be fair to those people. And I really...
Hello. No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after
Nobody
the tone.
calls usually, but...
Hope to pause that.
I can't pause it. I don't have the video editing material to do it.
Is it still going?
Yeah. Just keep talking about gay people.
Oh. I think it's a good thing, I guess. I know if I was gay, I would want rights with insurance. Just because I happen to be gay doesn't mean that I don't think they should be able to get insurance as partners, and it's come a long way. And probably someday they'll succeed at it.
What was your favorite type of music when you was growing up?
Well, if you asked your father, it would be the old Supersonic album. I guess I listened to a lot of pop in my day and a little bit of disco, the Saturday Night Fever thing, and
Weird.
well, all the John Travolta,
Grease?
yeah,
Soundtrack?
type of thing.
Um,
Yeah. And rock and roll. I did like a lot of rock and roll.
do you remember the flood of 87?
Yes, it didn't affect us too bad, but I remember going around places. Even Pittsfield had canoes going down the streets, and down to Burnham I can remember one of our friends opening up a door to the car and the water just gushing in. And I was just amazed that it could be that deep. Because he was pretty brave and went right through it anyway, but I probably would have backed up.
What do you remember about the ice storm of 1998?
I know we got lucky again. It must have been our location, but I know my mother had it pretty bad. We lost power for just a few hours, or a couple days or something. They lost it for 2 or 3 weeks. My brother lost it for 2 or 3 weeks, and they weren't very happy. But the treetops were all torn right off, and I thought my mother, when I called her, was exaggerating a little bit till I went down and actually saw it. And I couldn't believe the trees. It was just unreal. I'd never seen anything like it before.
Is there a big difference in wages from when you was a kid to today?
Not my wages, but a lot of a lot of people's. I remember working as a CNA for like $3.90 an hour back in '83 or so, and I know today nurses' wages are a lot better. And of course I didn't follow through with that plan, but They have gone up quite a bit. I wouldn't say, seems like nowadays your insurance goes up, everything goes up but your wages. And therefore you feel like you're going backwards, but compared to back when I was a kid, I guess I could say they went up quite a bit.
What are some differences in everyday life from when you was a kid to now?
Well, I can remember, you know, my mother would pull my hair out of my head, and nowadays you're not allowed to touch any of the kids. You can't. The discipline is a lot different than it used to be. We used to have spatulas, spanked with spatulas, and that type of thing is a lot different. And there's a lot of things different between my childhood and now.
What do you think of cell phones these days? Do you like them, or do you think that kids maybe, get them at a younger age that they shouldn't be having cell phones yet?
Yes, I can remember when you came to me at about 12 or 13, said you was the only one in the world without a cell phone. The only one at Nokomis, well, middle school, without a cell phone. I said, you cannot be the only one without a cell phone. But I am one. Come to find out, there are people still without a cell phone, but you did get what you wanted and got your cell phone. But I think they're a good thing as far as, I like to have it when you're driving, I like to know you're safe, I like to know where you are. However, I don't think that all this texting is good for communicating, because people don't know how to talk anymore to each other on the phone. They text all the time. And it's definitely a no-no when you're driving with the texting and talking, and I think it's gotten a little bit out of control.
People still do the texting and talking, though.
I know, and I agree with Oprah Winfrey. She's trying to do,
It ain't gonna work, though.
well, it's going to work with you.
Where were you when 9/11 took place?
I was at work over in Skowhegan, and everything kind of went quiet, and we weren't sure why, and it took them a while afterwards until we actually knew what was going on. And I can remember that day, when I got home from work, I just watched the news, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It just, like everybody else, I felt so bad for those people.
What was your first thought when you found out?
Well, I was hoping that, I had an aunt at the time in New York. I was hoping she wasn't anywhere near that area. And I just was so nerved up, because I didn't know if it was going to strike somewhere in Maine or somewhere else that we knew people.
The last question is, do you think that we should be involved in the war right now? For 10 years almost?
Well, I truly believe in our military. I believe they think they're doing the right thing. And I just hate to see people, lose their children in the war and have so many people killed. And I don't feel like it's really getting any better. I don't feel like it's ever going to come to an end. Something has to stop it. And I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. But I think it's going on too long and killed too many people.